Imagine this. Right now, as you're watching this video, there are over 7,500 single-family homes across the state of Nevada that have been listed for sale, and not a single person has even made an offer. Not one. Some of these houses have been baking in the desert sun so long that the bright red "for sale" signs out front have faded to pink. The lockboxes are growing cobwebs, and the sellers are bleeding thousands of dollars a month just to keep an empty property staged and looking pretty for showings that never happen. If that sounds insane to you, smash that like button right now and subscribe with notifications on, because what I'm about to show you is the biggest housing stalemate most people have never heard of, and it's happening in real time in 2025. Drop a comment below and tell me if you think Nevada prices are about to crash hard, or if this is just a temporary hiccup, because the data is brutal, and I read every single comment. Let's start with the headline numbers that should make every homeowner in the state feel a little sick. The typical house in Nevada right now is taking 64 to 65 days to sell. That's the median. But dig past the averages and the picture turns ugly fast. In the Reno-Sparks area, we're looking at almost 90 days on average. And in Greater Las Vegas, the inventory of unsold homes has ballooned to the point that the region now leads the entire country in zombie listings. Homes that just sit and sit with zero offers. Redfin's latest nationwide report shows 7 out of 10 active listings across America have now been on the market 60 days or more. But Nevada is crushing that average. We have hundreds of properties closing in on a full year with nothing but price cuts to show for it. In fact, during the first week of November alone, almost 40%.
The luxury segment is bleeding even worse. Picture a brand new custom estate up in the Summit Club, originally listed north of $16 million. It finally crawled across the finish line at 15.75 after 41 excruciating days and a $250,000 haircut. Another trophy property in the guard-gated McDonald Highlands sat empty for 4.5 months before the owners gave up $300,000 just to make it go away. Those are the lucky ones, the ones that actually closed. Right now, Greater Las Vegas has more than 1,300 homes listed above the $1 million mark, and the vast majority have been collecting dust for months, while carrying costs eat the owners alive. October's high-end sales were only 135 properties over $1 million. That's down from September. And the only reason the median sale price in that tier ticked up $5,000 is because everything that's actually moving is the heavily discounted stuff. The rest are just rotting on the vine.
The proof is in the year-over-year numbers nobody wants to talk about. Last October, almost 59% of homes that sold did so within the first 30 days. This October, that number collapsed to barely 50%. At the same time, the total count of listings that have zero offers hanging on them exploded more than 30% versus last year. And in Las Vegas, the increase was a jaw-dropping 77%. Again, the worst in the nation. Sellers are responding the only way they know how. They're yanking their homes off the market rather than accept lowball offers. Economists at Redfin say this wave of delistings is artificially keeping the published inventory numbers lower than the true oversupply really is. Translation: there are thousands and thousands of additional homes that tried to sell, failed, and quietly disappeared when the owners gave up. Carrying an empty house in Nevada is expensive, fast. Think $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month between the mortgage, HOA dues in these master planned communities, pool service, landscape crews, alarm monitoring, and utilities just to keep the air conditioning running so the place doesn't cook itself. After 6 months, that's 30 or 40 grand literally thrown away. And after a year, you're looking at real money, enough for a new luxury car. Gone forever, while tumbleweeds roll past the front door. Up in northern Nevada, the story is identical. Reno's median asking price sits around $615,000, yet the average days on market has ballooned to 89 and climbing. Sellers keep listing at $400 plus per square foot.
New listings are drying up because people are watching their neighbors get slaughtered and deciding it's smarter to wait. Southern Nevada saw barely 3,000 brand new listings come on in October. That's down month over month because nobody wants to be the next cautionary tale. 3/4 of zip codes across the valley have posted year-over-year price declines, with some high-rise corridor zip codes near the Strip down almost 20%. Investors who were snapping up 4,000 homes a quarter at the peak have completely vanished. They're sitting on cash waiting for capitulation because they know a house that's been active 200 days today will probably take 15 or 20% less in another 90. The big institutions that own 130,000 plus single-family rentals in Clark County alone aren't helping either. They're keeping those houses off the sales market and renting them instead, which would normally tighten supply. Yet even with that thumb on the scale, we still have oceans of unsold inventory. Local governments are quietly starting to sweat because property tax revenue is tied to assessed values, and if comps keep sliding, budgets for schools, police, and fire are going to take a serious hit. The president of Las Vegas Realtors went on record calling this a full-blown market reset. That's code for prices have a lot further to fall. Builders are panicking too. Century Communities, Lennar, D.R. Horton, everybody is throwing six-figure incentives, paying closing costs, buying down rates 2 full points, anything to move dirt. And even then, new homes are sitting and deal cancellation rates are spiking past 20% as buyers walk away from their earnest money rather than close on something they're convinced will be worth less next spring. The psychology has flipped 180 degrees in less than 2 years. We went from outright panic that you had to bid $50,000 over asking and waive every contingency or lose the house, to a market where buyers see a listing that's been active 5 or 6 months and immediately think, something must be wrong with it, or I'll just wait, it'll be cheaper later. Fear of missing out has been replaced by fear of buying the top, and that stalemate is freezing everything. Even the rental escape hatch is closing. With so many would-be sellers trying to lease their unsold houses instead, vacancy rates in Las Vegas have climbed to 8% and rents are flat to slightly down. There is literally nowhere for the excess inventory to hide.
So, where does this all end? Simple. Something has to give. Either sellers finally wake up, price aggressively to the market we have today, not the one we had in 2021, and we see a wave of transactions at lower levels, or we keep watching thousands of homes sit empty, delist, relist, sit some more until carrying costs force mass capitulation anyway. There is no universe where 10,000 plus properties just sit vacant forever while owners stubbornly hold out for peak prices that are never coming back. The stale listing crisis in Nevada is not slowing down. Every single month, the days on market keep creeping higher, price cuts keep getting deeper, sales volume keeps sliding, and inventory keeps climbing even with the delisting smokescreen. If you're thinking about selling in Nevada anytime soon, do yourself a favor. Look at the houses that are actually selling right now, price at or below the most recent closed comps, not what somebody listed for 6 months ago, and get it done fast. Because the longer you wait, the lower the market is going.